I would love to say good morning, but it's been a little bit of a rough morning. I have a sick kiddo on the couch right now, and last night was a very long night. But if I do get sick, I really don't want to be making dinner or anything like that. I got out the electric pressure cooker, and we're going to make some wild rice and chicken casserole, and then we're also going to make a couple chicken pot pies because I have that rotisserie chicken that I pulled apart a couple days ago that I've been making stuff out of, but I need to use it up, and one of our favorite meals is chicken pot pie, so I'm going to make a couple of those because if I get sick, I can easily just pop that in the oven, and I know that that's a good filling. She's looking at me like I'm crazy. I know that that's a good filling meal that my family really does enjoy. I'm going to use the Lundberg wild rice blend today. It's one of our family favorites. My kids don't really know what normal rice is anymore. I don't, anyways. They prefer this, and I prefer this as well. So if I get sick, I want a meal that is going to be hearty and just soothing. So I'm going to do the wild rice and chicken casserole as well as a chicken pot pie today, so that it can just be a simple, put it in the oven and then you walk away, and then when it's done and you don't have to do anything else. So we're going to try to accomplish the wild rice chicken casserole, and then we're also going to try to get 1 or 2 chicken pot pies done because that is one of our top favorite meals in our house. So we will cook this in the electric pressure cooker because wild rice takes forever to cook, and so if we do it in the pressure cooker, it'll take a little bit of that time off. I also prefer to make it with some chicken stock because it just adds so much flavor. The recipe online says 1.5 cups. Let me check. Yep, 1.5 cups wild rice blend. So we're actually going to double this. So we'll do 3. Oh, almost. Three cups. Okay, 3 cups of wild rice, 4 cups of chicken stock. Since we doubled it, about 2. Okay, and a little bit of salt. Okay, pressure cook for 20 minutes on high, then let naturally release. I really don't enjoy this. Oh, come on. I really don't enjoy this pressure cooker. I need to get a different one. Actually, maybe I'll look for one on Black Friday sale because this does not really do it. "20 minutes on high pressure, then let naturally release." Okay, we'll start. Anyway, so that wild rice is going. We're gonna get the pie dough, the chicken pot pie crust ready. And guess what? I was feeling really cruddy this morning because of she was screaming for me all night long, like every 10 minutes, sometimes every 5 minutes. I need a drink of water, my lips hurt. And it was just a really rough night. And I was not looking forward to this day at all because I knew I was going to be tired, and I knew that it was just going to be exhausting. But you know what? I got in the kitchen. I started doing it. I started doing the hardest thing first because I have other things to do today that are easier, and I could have done that. But I wanted to make sure that I had meals for my family if I get sick. And I know how it sounds lame, like they could eat peanut butter and jellies and the kids wouldn't care at all. But I wanted them to have a good meal, and just being in the kitchen makes me so much happier. It is, I know it's so silly, but it does, being in the kitchen makes me happy. And so I just realized that while I was putting that in, that accomplishing something, even though I had a really cruddy night, is making me happy. So thanks for being here with me, because if it wasn't for you guys, honestly, I wouldn't have done this. I probably would have just told him to go eat cereal or something. But let's start let's start the chicken pot pie. Okay, for this pie crust recipe, we are going to follow the recipe that is in, let's see, in the cooking school book made by America's Test Kitchen. I really enjoy reading this book. It is an enjoyable read if you enjoy cooking. It gives an explanation of why everything happens, how it happens, and how they suggest everything. But this is their pie crust recipe. For it, we put 1.5 cups of flour in the food processor, along with 2 tablespoons of sugar, which I've never actually done before, and then 1 teaspoon of salt. And we are going to pulse that until it is combined, which should just be. There we go. That's fine. Okay, so then I had put our butter and our shortening in the freezer. That's what it told us to do, because it needs it to be really chilled. So let me grab that. Okay, I'm going to add all of the butter and the shortening. Okay, so there's our really cold butter. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to add the rest of the flour. Okay, so we're just going to pulse this really quickly to try and get this evenly incorporated. I have put the the pie crust in some saran wrap in just 2 discs, and look, you can see. Oh, maybe it's too bright. Anyways, there's little chunks of butter in here. Okay, so this rice just got done, and it looks fabulous. I'm gonna taste it and we'll see how it actually is. So we'll see if this rice is actually done after, what was it, 20 minutes? It's actually done. This is going to be my go-to, because to make that wild rice normally takes 50 to 55 minutes of like in the pot, like constantly watching and stuff like that. So this is gonna be my go-to. Instant Pot to what was it? 1.5 cups of broth to 1.5 cups of rice to every 2 cups of broth. Okay, we are ready to make the chicken pot pies. We are going to make a bunch of the filling in here so that I only have to make it once. I have some freeze-dried garlic that I'm going to put a few of those cloves in there, as well as some freeze-dried onions that we're gonna cook in a little bit of chicken stock. Because it's freeze-dried, I do have to add some liquid in order for it to become fragrant, but I am going to add a little bit of fat as well. These are so light. Let's see if I can. They just anyways, they just crack. They're wonderful. Just gonna crunch them up a little bit. I probably shouldn't have done that in my hands because now my hands are gonna smell all day long. And some freeze-dried onions, which are the same. They're just so light and airy. They remind me of packing puffs. My grandpa used to have packing puffs for his business. Okay, now these onions and the garlic have some pretty good color on them. I'm going to add some butter to it, and because we're doing two chicken pot pies, and there might be some leftovers, so I don't know. I'm going to actually add the whole thing. We're gonna make a roux out of this whole half cup of butter. Looks like it was creating some fond on the bottom, which we can deglaze that with this butter. It will come off. Oh, it smells good. I'm gonna cook that flour flavor out of this roux. I'm actually gonna add some thyme and some parsley. Can't find my other pepper, but here we are. Okay, there we go. We're gonna deglaze this pan. Smells good. Good. I added a little bit more salt, and that's perfect.
Hey, Mom.
I could just eat that as soup.
Happy
But it does need to get a little bit more thick. Okay, I didn't make enough of the roux to thicken up the whole thing because I added a lot of chicken stock. So I just mixed a little bit of cornstarch and cold water together. And this is a fast way to get something thickened up. So we'll see. Like almost instantly it thickens right up. I do prefer the flavor of a roux, but once you've already started, you can't really go back and add more. So okay, so that looks pretty darn good for me. Ooh, it looks good. Okay, so I'm actually going to turn this off now, and I'm going to add potatoes and carrots and peas. I'm going to add this whole thing of peas and carrots because last time I only added peas, and my husband was like, oh, I kind of miss the carrots. I do have fresh, but I'm just going to use this for convenience today. Potatoes, and for convenience again I'm just going to use frozen hash browns. You can use normal potatoes is just fine, but I am not wanting to be cooking for forever today, so I'm just going to do these hash browns. We'll see if we need more or not. Okay, that looks like it will probably be good because I still need to add the chicken. I think this will be good because I like a chicken pot pie that when you open it, it doesn't all run out. So this is going to be good because it's not going to totally just when you cut open the pie. I mean, it would if it was really, really hot. But I'm going to actually let this cool down a bit because if I put these in, if I roll out the pie dough and then I put it in there, it's actually going to melt the butter and the shortening that is in the crust, and then the crust won't be as flaky. So I'm going to make sure that this is room temperature before I put it in. I'm going to make sure that this is room temperature before I put it in any crust. Okay, once again we are going to add some freeze-dried onions, freeze-dried garlic. Oh, I gotta turn it on. Yeah?
Can I have a popsicle, please?
They're not in there, bud.
Okay.
They're downstairs.
Can I have one though?
And some chicken stock.
No.
Okay, so I'm just adding some butter to the bottom of the pan to create a roux again. Get that fond off the bottom. Oh, looks like we need some more butter. Come on, no. Okay, ooh, that got a little dark. Don't think we burned it, but we did. Oh, crap. Good gravy. Full of it today. Oh, good gravy. Oh, I see Wawa. Now that we have saved this roux, by golly, what a crazy turn of events. Okay, I'm going to add the rest of this. Really good. Ooh, that was a lot. Because I want it creamy, I'm going to add some milk instead of more chicken broth. Okay, so this is looking pretty darn good, but I actually want to add the flavor of some mushrooms, but my husband hates mushrooms. So I have some freeze-dried mushrooms that I put in a bag, and I just crushed them up with a rolling pin. And he doesn't mind cream of mushrooms, so we're gonna hope that this kind of masks that. Oh my heavens. I was not expecting that, but that is good. I'm glad that I recorded this because I'm going to recreate that again. Wow. Oh my heavens. Oh my heavens. I'm gonna let that fully cool before we put it in the freezer so that it doesn't change the temperature of the freezer too much. We are going to roll these out into, I'm actually gonna make these pot pies in these little pans because I don't have enough pie pans to be able to put them in the freezer. And so I'm going to put them in here. And then they'll just be really, really thick, which will be awesome. Okay, here we've got one of our chicken pot pies. I'm going to put the top on. This one is the test kitchen recipe. I'm going to try and kind of guesstimate. Should have put more flour down. Oops. Doesn't really have to look that pretty, but we'll try to make it look as good as we can with what we've got. I'm going to put a little These are not the most beautiful pies I've ever made. But we're also having a rough day today, so there we go. It's the best we're gonna get for today. If I said I wasn't tired, I would be lying. This took a lot out of me, but I also did not sleep hardly at all last night. So I am ready to go sit down. But we made the wild rice and chicken casserole. We also made a teeny little chicken pot pie for just for lunch sometime. And then we also made two chicken pot pies for later. Since my daughter's sick, I'm like 98% positive I'm going to get sick too. And I wanted to make meals before I got sick so that I didn't feel like I had to make a meal. So we have 3 freezer meals, and I have some other freezer meals in the freezer already, but these will be nice, hearty, like feel-good meals that my family already likes. So, and this, so we already love the chicken pot pie, but this is going to be, this was a wild card. I had never made this before, and oh my heavens, it is so good. I am so excited to eat this. I saved out a little bit in a dish so that I could just warm it up and eat it because it was that good that I wanted it right now. But that's what we did today, and if you would consider liking and subscribing, that would be a wonderful help to me. And I hope that you were able to accomplish whatever you were doing while you were watching this, and that you feel empowered to do hard things on days where you just feel like it's impossible, because sometimes you don't have the energy to do much, but if you just stand up and you get going, then you can do a lot. But I am going to sit down before I do the dishes because I am just wiped out. But thank you so much for watching and joining me today while we made wild rice and chicken casserole, and then our little pot pies.